Well, hello everyone. Looks like we're back for another Monster vs. Monster battle here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel with me, Andrew, as always, because I'm the only one that does any of the videos here. So, time for another Monster vs. Monster battle. And today we have another request by Clawpaw of Yuan-ti versus Lizardfolk. And as always, we have a little bit of some shout outs here. None of the tokens this time are by the, none of the tokens are special. They're all D&D tokens. So that's fine. You know, hey, thanks D&D for having some really good artwork. So everyone has some unique artwork. There are some monsters on the side here, which I believe are unique. So we have some shamans and the lizard queen that are unique. Unfortunately, I don't know where the artwork comes for them, so I can't give an appropriate shout out. If I ever do find out, I will, I will update the credits down below. And we have a map by Neutral Party as always. So if you want to get, some very neutral-based battle maps for your D&D or Pathfinder or whatever, fantasy-based games, patreon.com/Neutral Party. They are really fantastic. I love their art style and whatnot. So I highly recommend them. The VTT here, as always, is Foundry. If you do not have Foundry, I totally recommend Foundry. It's $50 for the purchase, and then you have it for life, and you can do whatever you want with it. Mod it up, make it go crazy, or play it vanilla. Who cares? Have some fun with it. And the music is something I pulled off of YouTube for no royalties and free, so we have that going on as well. And just for the fun of it, in the chat, I'm going to throw up a poll of who do we think is going to win this encounter. We have a kind of a 1 to 2 odds here of 5 Yuan-ti versus 10 Lizardfolk. Technically 9 Lizardfolk with 1 Spirit Bone Naga here. But maybe the Naga informed the Lizardfolk of what was going on with the Yuan-ti and raising a new abomination. I don't exactly know the lore of how abomination come around, so that's just how it's coming in my head. They've, these purebloods and these, I don't remember which ones these are. 1 second. The Malazan, maybe they went through some kind of a process and brought up a new abomination into the field here. So the Spirit Naga was like, hey, I need some help. They did this to me. And, the friend of, or the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I figured you guys hate, the lizard, the Yuan-ti. I hate the Yuan-ti. Let's work together. And yeah, so let's put up this poll here of who is going to win this match. And we will throw up the, actually, let's see here. So I guess the question will be, we'll go with, since the technical underdog might be the Yuan-ti, we'll say, will the Yuan-ti win this monster versus monster battle? And we'll ask the community here of everyone that's watching, go ahead and vote. I will leave that up. It'll probably expire at some point, but we'll see what happens. Okay, and let me put my headphones on so I have some sweet battle music going on, because otherwise it'll be pretty boring for me. There we go. Okay, I can hear the music. It just actually restarted as I was putting my headphones on. So, let's take a look at our combatants here. On the Yuan-ti side, we have the Malazans of Zalku. We'll go with Zalku, and Yeka. Then we have the purebloods of Olia and Nuza. And then in the middle, our abomination is Saran, which was also requested by Clawpaw. And then off on our Lizardfolk side, we have, for Lizardfolk, we have Trausk, Kiss, Betoris, Rosk, Sorox, and Bugyox. Then we have 2 shamans of Igerto and Tierfing. And then our Lizard Queen, Oquirius, sure. And then our Spirit Bone Naga of Paja. So, these are our combatants, and without further ado, and without waiting any longer, let's jump right into this match and see what we end up going on with here. Let's see who will win. Alright, adding in our Yuan-ti to the battle. We have all those people lined up. Well, monstrosities. The purebloods are the actual closest thing to people here. And then we have all of our Lizardfolk and the Naga as well. Alright. Now, with round 1 is about to begin, let's roll some d20s to see our initiative order and get this going. And here come the D20s. That's 15 D20s. And we have a interesting order here. All right, let's begin combat with round 1. And first to go is Rosk. Rosk over here is our one Yuan-ti in the middle, and he's going to charge up the stairs and huck a javelin. Since, that's about all he can do. He will go 30 feet up, climb the stairs, and attack Yucca, since he's the only one that he can see, technically. I tried to put walls up, but unfortunately it was just getting too squirrely with the shadows and everything. So I just left it at this. If anyone is firing down, they won't be able to attack anyone right next to the walls, but they'll be able to attack anyone outside the wall area. So a safe zone is like right next to the wall. And we will target Yucca for our first round of combat and actually get an attack in. What do you know? And Rosk will throw a javelin. We'll say they have a couple javelins, enough to, get 1 or 2 rounds in if need be. But because of the rules for multi-attack and Lizardfolk, he can only throw 1 javelin, and that's the end of his turn. And we have a total of 8 to hit the Malazan, which is unfortunately a miss, dealing no damage at all. I do have Foundry set up to show damage, because initially I was looking to scale up the potential damage, but we don't really need that anymore. I'll attempt to get rid of that next time. So a miss is a miss, and there'll be no damage. And that is Rosk's first turn. He's moved, thrown a javelin, and unfortunately there's nothing else he can do for a bonus action. So we move on to Zalku. Zalku is the next for the Yuan-ti side, and he is on this side, and here's the we'll say the raspy cries of the Lizardfolk as they come charging up to try and stop the abomination from being created, and are unfortunately unable to, stop them from doing so. So we'll have Zalku come over to here, and then quickly come, what was that, 25? Can he make it? It's only, how far is that? We'll say like a 5-foot increment. So he wouldn't really have to worry about running, but he's blocked. He could jump down. Yeah, let's see. We'll have him jump down to here, come over to the edge. That's 30 feet. And peer over the side. And they have a multi-attack option, right? So he can make 2 ranged attacks or 2 melee attacks. So we'll have him just do 2 longbow attacks and see where this goes from there. Unfortunately, Rosk is the first one up in front, so he's going to take a shot at Rosk. Might as well stop the invaders as they're climbing the battlements. And Zalku goes in for 2 longbow attacks against Rosk. Rosk is not getting any kind of advantages, and if anything, Zalku should technically have advantage for having the higher ground, but it's not. We'll say if these are 5-foot increments, I'm sure it's much higher. Actually, it's probably more like 10-foot increments. I'm going to say there's not really much of a bonus. No AC bonuses, but the height, there is a bit of a height advantage. So we could say advantage for the attack on that anyways. So we'll give 2 height advantages for the attack. Okay, so we have a total of 11 to hit, and the first strike misses, or the first attack misses, unfortunately, or fortunately. And unfortunately, I had 2 people targeted for that attack. And we go in for the second longbow attack at advantage because of height differences. And a 14 also misses. So both arrow shots from Zalku go flying by Rosk as Rosk is charging up the stairs trying to help stop and defeat the hated Yuan-ti. Okay, with those 2 attacks missed, we now move on to Paja. And Paja, what is Paja going to do? Well, Paja has a whole bunch of spells that they can do here. And we have Sleep, Charm Person, Ray of Frost, Minor Illusion. Of course, Lightning Bolt would be the better option to do, although we don't really have a great direct line, because I think, what is it, 5 feet wide? It is 5 feet, okay. So we could do, let's see here. If we want to just get that Lightning Bolt out of the way, let's have Paja move up to, we'll say 20 feet to there, and then should be able to just zip right up the line and still connect with Sauron right in the middle there. So we could do the Lightning Bolt, and I think that's exactly what we're going to end up doing. So let's get rid of that, and we'll go to Paja and have Paja cast a Lightning Bolt. We'll consume the spell slot, place a measured template, and we'll flip it around so that it starts to there, and we will hit Sauron and Yucca. And that's a big old zap with the lightning there, dealing, let's see here, a total of 26 lightning damage, and with advantage from their abilities because of Yuan-ti and having magical resistances, even with advantage, they both failed the roll. So, they are both dealt 26 points of damage from the lightning bolt, and Paja is going to weirdly slither back a ways to, not be too upfront since they are a caster. Alright, let me get rid of the template here, which is still fun, and move Paja back 10 more feet. I think they have... Oh, no, just a total of 30 feet movement. Okay, so Paja will slither back over to here, kind of partially behind a bush, but not so much so. And we move on to Ijierto, the first of 2 shamans. Ijierto is going to move up a ways and summon forth a whole bunch of creatures. They have the summon or conjure animals spell. Oh, that hit in double miss was important for the lizards. Very true, especially with advantage. That was a big hit from Paja there. Okay, Ijierto has the ability to summon conjure animals, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to come in and he's going to conjure a whole bunch of lizards or snakes. And since I already looked at this ahead of time, we're going to go with a rating of CR 1/4 and conjure up 8 snakes, since it has to be reptiles. And because we're getting 8 snakes entering the battle, which is going to be ridiculous, we're going to go with, let's see here, constrictor snakes, I think was the fun option. We could do flying snakes if we wanted to. I know flying snakes would be better off. They are nasty. We're gonna go with 8 CR 1/8 flying snakes. So we're gonna have them pop into place. And let me just verify one more thing here. What was the range on that? Spell book and conjure animals. I'm not seeing how far. I don't remember how far away it is. Any space. So we'll just have them like up on the next level here. But they're flying anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And we will get 8 of them. And they're tiny snakes, so we can actually throw all 8 in at the same spot, which is kind of fun. Okay, we got 4 there, and we need 4 more. I don't know why they are all... Why are they all bloodied? They're all wounded. Why do they have the wounding condition? Sorry, folks. Give me a few moments to get rid of this wounded condition on them. I don't know why that is there, but they won't really last more than 1 hit anyways. If, they get hit. We'll see what happens. And get rid of that there. And make sure we get rid of that there. Okay, good. So we got a total of 6. We need just 2 more. 2 more flying snakes. Okay, and that's the problem. Okay, so there was an extra one hidden underneath there. Very good. And we will add, actually, I think we'll just have them go after Ijierto's turn. Let's see, everyone is gangster until the flying snakes get pulled out. Wait, I mean, I'm on the lizard side, but are flying snakes not a different CR? Technically, they are. Because of the amount of damage they can do, they're supposed to be higher, but I'm not going with my video's CR range. So, they're printed at CR8, CR 1/8, they're going to be CR 1/8. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, the Lizardfolk are getting a real big buff here with 8 flying snakes that are probably actually like CR1. And we'll go from there. Alright, so we'll have the flying snakes go after Ijierto's turn, which just makes things a whole lot easier. And so be it. They will now start flying en masse. And let's see here. So they're going to just go... How far can they go? 60 feet flying. Oh, God. Okay. So we're going to have them all fly evenly. They're going to fly directly up and start harassing a whole bunch of the Yuan-ti here. And actually, they can all pretty much just go 1 for 1, which is hilarious. Can I go in such a way that will not provoke an attack of opportunity. Yeah, you know what? They don't really care. So Yucca's gonna get a shot to do an attack of opportunity. So let's clear these out real quick, and we'll say Yucca has his sword drawn and goes in for a quick attack of opportunity with the scimitar. Oh, could bite too. Yeah, we'll say he goes in for the bite, since technically he would have had the longbow drawn. How did he use his reaction this round? He didn't use a reaction. Anyways, 18. Goes in for the hit with a bite and does a whole bunch of damage to the flying snake as it fly. Oh, it does fly by. You're right. Forgot about that. Features. Yes, flyby. So, let us revert that. They can't do the attack of opportunity. Totally forgot about that. Thank you. Okay, goes into there. And we will do, let's see here. Another one over there. Actually, they wouldn't go in for any kind of a advantage attack because they're not smart enough to know how to do that. So we'll just split these all up evenly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put him down here. Okay, so there goes all of our flying snakes. They're going to go in for some attacks. So we'll start down here with these two flying snakes. And the first one goes in for a bite attack. And ends up hitting with a 16. Dealing only 4 points of damage because of poison immunities. So there's no damage because they have the poison immunities. Trust, when it's about flying snakes, I'm the pro. For sure. Thank you. That was a good reminder. But because the flying snakes are using venom, you know, the Yuan-ti are immune to poison, so there's no poison damage, unfortunately. And the next flying snake misses with an attack, so we will switch and move on to make these as quick as possible here. All right, so the next Malazan gets attacked by 2 flying snakes. And this one ends up hitting with an 11, dealing a whole bunch of damage, but only a fraction of that because of the resistances to poison immunities, unfortunately. Or poison immunities and so on. So the next flying snake attacks, hits with a 15 and deals 4 points of damage. We move on from there. We'll have one of the purebloods be attacked by a flying snake. Another bite goes in. 14 base, total 20 of hit. And we end up dealing 4 more points of damage. A bunch of, again, resisted because of the poison immunities. Then the other pureblood gets attacked by another poison flying snake here. And we miss with that one with a 10 total, could have dealt 8 points of damage, but unfortunately that was a miss. And then we move on to the abomination, which with 1 flying snake going in for the bite attack. And, oh, it was almost a critical hit, but does very little damage. Very little damage, unfortunately. Okay, that is the end of all the flying snakes in Egerto's turn. We will now move on to Yucca. And Yucca is right in the front here. And let's see here. They're being harassed by a bunch of flying snakes, so I guess they're going to go in for the attack. He's going to drop his bow and draw his scimitar out and goes in for the first strike against the flying snake. Hi, Drake. I am using Foundry VTT. I absolutely recommend it if you aren't using it. It is a really fantastic VTT to use. So foundryvtt.com. It'll be in the description if it's not already there. I'll have it later on for a link. So, Yucca goes up against a flying snake for a scimitar attack. And let's see what he does. Base 13, total of 18 to hit with a total of 9 points of damage. And our first flying snake is hit. Yucca then pivots to go after another flying snake. And strikes again with the scimitar for his second melee attack. These flying snakes are proving to be a good distraction and saving the Lizardfolk from damage, and another flying snake has been defeated. Hit for 6 total points of damage, and Yucca will hold his ground. Actually, probably moving down. No, we'll have him hold his ground right there where he's at. Alright, and that is Yucca's turn. No bonus actions to do or any reactions to worry about, so we move on to Bitoris. Bitoris, the Lizardfolk, is back here as well. We'll move up a ways. 30 feet all the way and hucks a javelin. Seeing that Zalku is being harassed right now by some flying snakes, he's going to target Yucca there and toss a javelin. Unfortunately, they can only do 1 javelin toss per round and misses within a total of 11. And that is the end of Bitoris' turn. Next up is Oquiris, the Lizardfolk Queen, who has thrown on this charge. And let's see here. What is Oquiris going to do? We'll probably have her move up 20 feet. Let's double check everything we can do. We have a skewer ability. Unfortunately, can't use it until the trident hits. So she is really not going to be able to do too terribly much and only has a trident on her. So she will go on dodge for the time being, since she doesn't have anything else she can do. Let's get dodge off of her, off of the Yuan-ti, and we give dodge there and end Oquiris' turn. Next up, we have Saren, our abomination, who decides to stand where they are on top of this altar, and I believe can do a couple longbow attacks from the multi-attack here. So, we can make 2 ranged attacks or 3 melee attacks, but can use its bite and constrict attacks only once each. So, ranged attacks are probably going to be the better option here for now, so we will have Saren go in and attack one of the lizard folk down below with advantage because of the height and everything, and make we'll have them do 2 longbow attacks from the abomination, because we'll have them just starting in the abomination form. So, longbow attack number 1 at advantage with a total of 25 to hit, dealing 25 total points of damage, including that poison damage. Unfortunately, Rosk has been defeated. That is 1 lizard folk down and no Yuan-ti so far. So, let me update the scorecard here. Our red group, also known as the lizard folk, have gone from, technically, we would say 18 with the flying snakes. Oh, it should have been at advantage. Or regular, because the flying snake is technically harassing the, boy, yeah. Okay, so let's see here. I will do the next attack at regular since the height advantage, and we will skip over that. What were the attack rolls? A 16 and a 19, that would have hit regardless, because their AC is a 15. So both attacks were perfectly fine, and there's no difference because of the disadvantage from the flying snake harassing and the abomination attacking at height with advantage. So that was a small correction there, folks. Thankfully, it worked out to be the better, and we are down 1 lizard folk still entirely. So the next attack with disadvantage from the flying snake harassing, and the advantage from the height will be a regular longbow attack on the other lizard folk, Bitoris. And let's see what happens with the longbow attack. Oh, 19 base with total of 25 to hit, and that's 23 points of damage to Bitoris. Unfortunately, we are down another lizard folk. That's 2 down now out of a total of 10 from the advancing lizard folks. The lizard folk are not looking so hot now, unfortunately. We'll see how round 2 ends up if we, what happens when we get there. Lizard folk are now down to 8 total combatants, and the Yuan-ti are still standing strong with their 5. Up next, now that Saren's turn is done and using 2 longbow attacks, we have Sorox. Sorox is over here, and let's see. He's going to come up and move to about here, and with this range, that'll be 30 feet to attack. Should be able to attack with the javelin, no problem. What is the range on the javelin? Just to remind myself, 30 to 120. Okay, so that is perfect range there. I'm not going to give advantage or disadvantage for the height. And what will end up happening is he's going to duck in behind the wall to save himself from being hit from the ranged attacks and then advance further. So, Suzaku is going to be attacked with a javelin, and we'll see what happens from there. Regular attack, misses with a 13, unfortunately, and then ducks behind the wall here, giving, we'll say, we'll give 3/4 coverage not to Suzaku there. To Sorox. Sorox will get 3/4 coverage because of the walls and being right there. So there will be some disadvantage to attacking when they're right next to the wall. Okay, next is Bugyox, and Bugyox will end up doing pretty much the same thing as Sorox. Move to here, chuck a javelin at Zalku, and see what happens. Okay, going in for the javelin attack. We have, almost a crit with a 2 base, total of 6 to hit. Another javelin miss. Unfortunately, it seems like tossing these javelins up to the top of the temple are just not working out for the lizard folk. And Bugyox also moves into the wall to try and avoid being hit with the arrows and gets himself 3/4 coverage. All right, next up is Kiss. And Keese is going to do more or less the same. Going to run through here. And then, let's see here. So that will be 10 feet there. Has to take another 5 feet there. So he'll end up going to here. But that's going to be pretty long range. Oh, wow. No, it's actually just enough. It's still technically 30 feet of distance. So we'll have another javelin attack from here. Keese will make the attack. And see if we can hit this not abomination, but this Malazan or not. Unfortunately, with a base 3 and a total of 7 to hit, that's another javelin miss. But Keese is going to move into the cover here and get himself some protection from being attacked from these arrows that are just devastating them so far. Next up is Olia, one of the purebloods, and our pureblood is going to do what? What can our pureblood do? Let's see here. We have a multi-attack of 2 melee attacks, and since they're being harassed by the by a couple of flying snakes, they're going to come in here and take out the flying snakes with their scimitars. So we have 2 scimitar attacks, and we will see what happens with this pureblood going in for a slice against one of the flying snakes. Base 17 to hit with a total of 20, dealing 3 points of damage and wounding the flying snake. Surprisingly enough, the flying snake is still alive with 2 hit points. That is absurd. Goes in for the second scimitar attack and ends up critting. We have our first crit of the match with a measly 2 points of damage, totaling to 3, but still taking out the flying snake, and the poor flying snake just fizzles away into nothingness as technically they're Fey. And that leaves Olia with 1 more flying snake right next to her and can focus on that one next round. That is Olia's turn. Next up we have the other pureblood here, Nuza, or Nuza? Nuza. We'll go with Nuza. I like Nuza better. And she will also attack one of the flying snakes with her multi-attack. So, first scimitar attack against the flying snake will be a total base of 15 with an 18 to hit and 6 points of damage, defeating the flying snake. That will then free her up with 1 more multi-attack. She moves up and targets the other flying snake, harassing the abomination in the middle. Goes in, moves up for the attack, and swings with her second scimitar attack. And we end up with a base 12 and a total 15 to hit, which does connect, dealing 6 more points of damage, and that's another flying snake fizzling off into nothingness. And Nuza is going to shift down into here and end her turn at the corner of the top of the temple. That's the end of Nuza's turn, and we go to Trausk. Trausk is over here, the last of the our lizard folk to move, and he's going to move to here and do very similar stuff as the other lizard folk have been doing, trying to protect themselves so they can advance up to the top of the temple better, and ends up targeting Zalku with the javelin, since everyone's been throwing javelins at that poor dude. And let's see if he can connect with a javelin attack or not. Trausk chucks the javelin up for a total of 15 and hits and connects with Zalku, dealing 8 points of damage. First javelin attack of the evening, folks, in round 1 here to actually do something. And then Trausk will shift and get himself 3/4 coverage from the wall to protect himself from those poison-tipped arrows. And last for round 1, excuse me, we have Tyrfing. Tyrfing, our second shaman. What is Tyrfing going to do? We have a couple things we can do. Fog Cloud, which would be fantastic to hide the movement of our lizard folk up the mountain and protect them from being attacked. That would, I believe, give total obscurement and basically disadvantage on the attack, as well as having the walls there that could help protect them. And probably the better bet to do to help protect the queen as well. So, Tyrfing's going to come up with their spell, cast Fog Cloud, and we'll place it here, which will help protect everyone. And put them all into total obscurement. Yo, Tyrfing, let's go! Indeed. And then Tyrfing, having cast the fog cloud, will then also move into the fog cloud to protect himself and stop from being attacked. Alright, and that is the end of round 2. We have 2 defeated lizard folk, no defeated Yuan-ti, but some of them have been damaged and hurt. Let's see what happens in round 2 as we move up into that at the top of the round. Top of the round with round 2, we had Rosk, who has unfortunately been defeated. Next up is Zalku. Zalku is being annoyed and harassed by a couple flying snakes, so he will go ahead and target them, dropping his longbow briefly to draw the scimitar and go in for a scimitar attack. And there's actually no point in attacking the lizard folk since they are now obscured in fog. So, Zalku goes in for a scimitar attack against one of the flying snakes. I have too many people targeted. Okay, let me clear that out real quick. I always do that. And let's try again. Okay, so first scimitar attack against the flying snake. And we end up rolling, let's see here, a base 14 with a total of 19 to hit, which will easily take out the first of 2 flying snakes. Targets the second snake with the quick flourish of the scimitar attack, and we will see what kind of damage this Yuan-ti will lay out. Unfortunately, that is a miss as the flying snake banks out of the way and misses. Yuan-ti misses with a 7. Could have been 9 total points of damage, and unfortunately, there's still a flying snake harassing them. Just to confirm what is going on here, we have 2 melee attacks, so that is all they can do for this round. Finish up their turn. The Yuan-ti will pivot back a little bit, not provoking any kind of attack of opportunity with the flying snake, even though it really doesn't matter at this point. And will actually pivot into such a way that they are now up against the stairs here. That is the end of Zalku's turn. We now have Paja up. And what is Paja going to do? Paja has a whole bunch of spells still available. And let's see here. We don't need to do Detect Thoughts. Do we want to try and charm a person? That could be kind of fun. We still have a Lightning Bolt. Nothing really too good in ways. He might want to hold out and try and get maybe 3 or more. So we're going to hold on to that last Lightning Bolt and maybe try and charm one of the purebloods, since they are technically a people. They're not monstrosities. So what do we have here? Paja is hiding here. And the fog cloud's making it very difficult to see what I'm trying to do for battle. And yeah, I think Paja will be able to kind of squeeze and move about a little bit. And let's see here. What is the range on Charm Person? Trying to find that range. 30 feet of each other when you target them. One creature. Give me a second, folks, while I figure out what the range is on Charm Person. Okay, 30 feet. So I got to figure out how to get to 30 feet to get Paja close enough here. So I would have to be up on the first floor here. Okay, that's not too terrible. 30 feet of movement. Let's see. So I could do something like... I could just get outside of it. Yep, okay. So let's see if we can do that. We'll go to up to here. Then we'll do something like this and to like this. Oop, come on. What am I grabbing? So that will put us roughly about here. Should give us the 30 feet, 25 feet of movement. Yes, thank you, Drake. That's why I'm moving up as close as I can. And because Nuza is on the corner here, can see, and we should be able to target from there. That will give us the 30 feet of range to see Nuza. So we'll go for the Charm Person now. Okay. We're going to switch our target to Nuza and see about charming them. So Charm Person. Oh, jeez. All right, let me do that one more time. Charm them. And we are going to switch their spells. Don't consume the spell slot because I already cast it. And Nuza succeeds with a 15. So they are not charmed, unfortunately. And then Paja will go and take this time to move back 5 feet to hide into the fog cloud, giving them, just the disadvantage for the heavy obscurement. Okay, and one more time, bring that back. All right, so that is Paja's turn. They try to charm, they try to charm the pureblood, but the pureblood is able to easily ward off the low DC of the Charm Person spell from Paja, the Spirit Bone Naga. Next up is Ejerto, one of our 2 shamans still up in the match. They're still concentrating on the Summon Animal spell, or the Conjure Animal. They only have the 1 left, and it's kind of well, there's 2 there. So actually, yeah, he'll keep them going. And let's see here. What could we do? We could do a Heat Metal, which could be fun. We could do a Spiked Growth on the ground, which may not be handy at this point. Probably just a Produce Flame. We'll do a quick Produce Flame underneath one of yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so Ejerto We'll come out real quick to see what he's casting on, and we'll target Yucca since Yucca is looking a little worse for wear here. Let's get rid of that. Switch to that. There we go. Okay, and we'll do a quick produce flame cantrip and see what happens. And rolls with a 9 to hit, but unfortunately misses. And oh, he apparently targeted himself. Jesus. Oh man. All right. Anyways, it was a unfortunate 9 to hit, which doesn't hit and does no damage. And Ijarto is going to move back into the fog cloud. All right. Next up is Yucca, and Yucca has a is free to move and is going to start shooting some arrows down into the fray here, knowing where the queen was last. He's going to attempt to attack the queen here, who is still hiding in the fog cloud. So with total, technically 2 forms of disadvantage, Yucca's going to have a straight roll because of advantage of height here. So we'll see how this goes. All right. And we have 2 longbow attacks against the queen at advantage, which rolls 1 roll. And we end up with a 17 to hit, dealing 8 points of damage on the first attack. And the second longbow attack, still connecting. The second shot goes wide, missing in the clouds of fog. And the fact that the queen was trying to dodge and misses with the attack on the second strike. Holding his ground and protecting the abomination. We move on to Batoris, who is unfortunately defeated. And now we have Okiris, the Lizardfolk queen, and she shouts some commands of inspiration and ends up moving up the ramps and getting herself into the fog cloud and also protecting with the 3/4 coverage. Okay, next up is Sauron, and Sauron is going to make some wide attacks as well. You know, he's going to try and go after Tyrfing, who is using the fog cloud as cover and kind of knows where Tyrfing might be. And it's going to have disadvantage on the attack. Technically, they do have disadvantage, Clawpaw. It's just that the height, they're so high up above them, I'm giving them advantage for the height difference. So it's counteracting the disadvantage and giving them a straight roll. So we'll clear out the targeting here, and we're going to have him try and target Tyrfing, who is using the fog cloud. All right, we have 2 longbow attacks because he's way up high. And somehow does manage to hit with a 25, killing, unfortunately, and defeating Tyrfing. And actually, no, did that not? Oh, the fog cloud didn't give disadvantage. That's really strange. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here. I have 2 rolls. We have a 19 and a 6. I'm going to roll a d6. On the odds, it's going to be the 19. On the evens, it's going to be a 6, because we didn't get disadvantage on that. The fog cloud just was there, and I should have known better. Okay, so rolling a d6 to see which of the 2 dice we got. We end up rolling a 5, so that's the odds, and we end up still getting the 19. So that first shot, unfortunately, took out Tyrfing and killed him off, sadly. Still having 1 left over, we have Ijarto, who didn't take the chance to move into the wall here for some 3/4 coverage and goes in for attack against Ijarto. So Sauron is taking a second attack at advantage, being so high up, and goes in for the longbow attack. We have a 2 and a 5. That's going to be a miss, it looks like, and could have been 28 points of damage. Ijarto was very fortunate as the fog cloud dissipated, just barely missing out of the way there. Rip my beloved. Unfortunately, Tyrfing is ripped, yes, sadly. Okay, that is the end of Sauron's turn, and now we go to Sorox, who is hiding behind the wall here, and will hop up onto the wall and charge up 30 feet to start doing some attacks. So we'll say, let's see, 5 feet to there. Yes, they can totally make the range. So, 30 feet dashes up the temple here to get right up into Yucca's face, and goes in for an attack. We'll clear out that target him, and Sorox is going in for 2 attacks against Yucca. First will be a heavy club attack. And the attack is a 17, base 21 to hit for a total of 7 points of damage. That is a good first connect. The second strike is going to be with a shield bash of the spiked shield. And that attack is an 8 with a total of 12, which does hit Yucca, dealing another 4 points of damage. That is a very successful attack. I don't know why the shield spell just popped, but sure enough, here we are. And that is the shield attack against Yucca, putting him into a critical state. Unfortunately, I didn't read up on Yuan-ti tactics here, so I'm not entirely sure. More than likely, Yucca may attempt to move on and preserve his own life now that he's been bloodied. So we will see what happens here. We have a total of 14 and 12 wisdom. So yes, he would probably end up doing a disengage and starting to move back a ways, at least using Sarin as a way to keep himself alive and falling back just a little bit. Okay. So that's the end of Sorox's turn. Next we have Bugyox, and Bugyox probably won't be able to make it. Let's see here. Bugyox can move to here. If we do something like, let's see here, go like this. Yeah, that's kind of iffy. I don't think I could do that necessarily. I think we can go to here, and that's as far as he can move up. So what is he going to do? Do they have a climb speed? Let's see here. No, they just have walking and swim speed, so they can't really climb that well. So that would take an action to climb up the wall, since it's a good, we'll say, I don't know, 10 feet up or so. No, it's some kind of reasonable height here. So he's going to shift over to 5, and we'll say go to here. You know what? No, what we'll do is, as he's climbing up, he's going to come over to here, chuck a spear at Zalku, since Yucca's kind of got really good coverage, although it is a height difference. So I would say half cover for that attack. And we'll switch targets to Zalku. And he's going to chuck another javelin and then hide behind the wall, since that'll give him protection again. Alright, so one javelin attack against Zalku. We end up with a base 13, total 17 to hit, and deals 4 points of damage against Zalku. And then takes that last section to run up and hide up against the wall again, giving 3/4 coverage. Oh, it looks like we ended up just getting another subscriber. That's fantastic. Don't get to hear that too often. All right. Whoever that was, thank you for subscribing. If you're watching along with this little adventure here, even better. All right, so that was Bugyox's turn. We move on to Keese, who is over here, and will end up doing very much the same as Sorox, and taking this advantage to rush them and go in for the attack. Okay, Keese is going to make 2 attacks against Zalku, and go in for the heavy club attack of a, looks like a 14 base with an 18 to hit, doing 4 points of damage, and then goes in for another spiked shield attack, base 14, 18 to hit with a measly 3 points of damage, unfortunately. But it is still a couple hits, which did deal some damage. Fantastic. Okay, that is the end of Keese's turn, and we move on to Olia, who still has a flying snake harassing her. So she's going to come over here and take another scimitar attack and see if she can get rid of this darned little creature flying around. Let me get rid of, there we go. Proper targeting once more. That's the only issue I have with Foundry, is the whole targeting problem. And goes in for a scimitar swipe against the flying snake. Base 12, total 15 to hit, and we end up with 4 points of damage. This flying snake is still surviving with 1 point of damage, and unfortunately I forgot to do the flying snake's turns. So let's stop there real quick. The flying snake's going to get an attack, a chance to attack in, because I forgot to do them after Gierto's turn. And we will switch to Olia here, who's going to be attacked by the flying snake. And we will have 1 bite attack against Olia. And that's a base 12 with a 18 to hit. Holy crap. Okay, and that's should have been 11 points of damage, but because of their poison, only 1 point of damage it looks like. And then we have our other little flying snake here is going to come on up, and we'll say target the other pure blood here as well, and go in for a little bite attack. Okay, and that's a 7 to hit. 13 total does hit the pure blood, dealing another 1 point of damage. Hey, every little nickel and dime is something there. Okay, so then, we continue the final attack of Olia here, now that we've caught up on our flying snakes, who should have been doing some damage. And Olia goes in for their second scimitar swing. The flying snakes have been a good distraction. 13 to hit, misses the flying snake, dealing no damage at all, and still has that darn flying snake problem. Let's see here. It's such a good action wasted, to be fair. They need it after that roll luck contrast, for sure. Okay. Moving on, after Olia's turn, we have Nuzza, who is being harassed once again by flying snakes, and she's going to go in and attack the other flying snake here. And we'll get rid of this one. See if we can, with 2 swings, get rid of that flying snake problem. Oh, and that's a critical hit. 23 total for 10 points of damage. Finally getting rid of the flying snake. Nuzza's going to shift up and help out her pure blood companion, getting advantage on the attack for a flanking bonus and try to finish off this other flying snake. With advantage on the attack, we have a 13 base for a total of 16, dealing 6 points of damage, and that finishes off all of our flying snakes. Ijirto's summoned beasts are now gone. And that is the end for Nuzza's turn, and she will see. Let's see. She moved 15. We'll have her move 15 back to here and end combat. Last up, we have Trausk. And Trausk will do a similar move to what Bugyox did, mimicking everything pretty much right on. So Trausk will come up to here and opportunity attacks. Did we have any opportunity attacks? No opportunity attacks from what I could see. Which ones were you talking about, Clawpaw? And let's see here. Because of these problems here, let me get rid of some real quick. I got to get rid of 3/4 coverage for certain people. Oh, double opportunity attacks. You mean like with the flanking bonus for having the Yuan-ti flank and give advantage on the attack? Okay, let's see here. Trausk is going to attack someone, but because of the Yuckin and the others. Who am I missing? No, there wouldn't have been any opportunity attacks from what I know of. The only opportunity attacks only provoke when you move out of their threat range, not into it. Unless I've been doing opportunity attacks wrong. Let's see here. Let's see here. You can rarely move heedlessly past your foes without putting yourself in danger. You can make an attack. Yeah, it's only when they move out of the threat range. So technically there should not be any opportunity attacks. It's like, yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay, Trausk. Trausk is going to make an attack at, I guess we'll have him throw at Yucca. Yucca is going to get a bonus here of 3/4 coverage. Now we'll give him half coverage because of the height difference and whatnot. So he's going to get half coverage on the attack, and he's going to chuck a spear. Okay, let's see here. So spear attack, or javelin, I should say. Oh, that's a big miss. A total of 6 to attack, and Yucca avoids a spear attack. Okay, removing half cover and moving Trausk up into against the wall. No worries, Clawpaw. It's all good. All right, and that is the end of round 2. And so far, no defeats except for Tyrfing. So we are down one more Lizardfolk. I got to update that real quick on the scoreboard here. Red group is down to 7 total Lizardfolk, and all of their conjured animals are unfortunately gone as well. Okay, so that is the end of round 2, as Tyrfing has been defeated by a heavy longbow attack. And we go up next to round 3 with Rosk, who's been defeated. Up next is Zalku. Zalku is still good to go and is going to take a couple attacks right against Keese, who is right up in front. So clear that out, and Keese will take a couple scimitar attacks. Okay. Let me fix that real quick. All right, and Zalku. There we go. Good. If we needed to, longbows have been dropped or whatever, and scimitars are now being drawn. First attack is a 16 to hit, total of 21, dealing 5 points of damage to Keese, and a follow-up scimitar swing from the Malazan of a total 18 to hit, with a total of 7 points of damage. Keese has been wounded now, and unfortunately is going to start falling back on their turn now that they are bloodied. Up next is Paja. Paja is going to attempt to do some damage and work here. Sadly, can't do too terribly much because of the lightning bolt being right in the way. What is their alignment? Their alignment is lawful evil, so technically they could, if they wanted to, lightning bolt, right through Keese and be like, hey, casualties of war here. But let's see what we have instead. We're going to try a sleep spell. Sleep spell might be pretty good considering, no, they're not really enough yet. We could do a hold person. but they know people. Only the Yuan-ti or the purebloods are technically people, so that's not going to help out either. So I guess, unfortunately, we're just going to do a Ray of Frost on... we'll do it on Nuzza here. Okay, switching our targets over. And we do a quick little Ray of Frost, sadly. Nothing else we can really do for this attack. 14 to hit for a total of 18, and that is 4 points of frost damage up against Nuzza, who has been reduced in speed because of the Ray of Frost. And Paja is going to hang out there, not really being able to do too terribly much right now. Next is Igerto, and what can we do with Igerto? Let's take a look at their spells real quick. A lot of the same here. A lot of the same. I think we could still do another Conjure Animals. Yes, they do have spell resistances. So the first couple, the first time they did a, let's see here, was it? Yeah, the lightning bolt, the abomination, and one of the Malazans did have the resistance on there. So they did have that. They did get the advantage on the lightning bolt, but because Ray of Frost is a direct attack spell, they don't have any advantage on that. Okay, I think we could harass with more. We're gonna have. Yeah, we're going to have Igerto here do some more summon creatures. And I just want to see real quick Conjure Animals, because that was pretty fun. Conjure. Okay, Conjure Animals. And what is the range? 60 feet range. Perfect. That's what I want to see. Okay. So 60 feet could... Oh, yeah. 60 feet, we could go all the way over to here with that. So, Igerto is going to summon up some more beasts. And this time we're going to do what? Let's see here. Spells. Conjure Animals. Consume the spell slot. And we will do quarters. I think we're going to go with the quarters again. We're going to have giant poison. No, we're going to do constrictor snakes. What are the constrictors? 1 quarter, which is perfect. Okay. So we're going to get 8 constrictor snakes coming out now. And we'll see how that fares. All right. Constrictor snake time. So... Oh, man, these are big. Okay. They have a swim speed. Oh, that's absurd. Why are they so big? These aren't the giant ones. What's going on here? Oh, my God. That is massive. This is absurd. Okay, so... Yeah, how am I doing this here? All right. 8 giant constrictor snakes just appear. Woof. Jeez, okay. Just for the sake of overlapping and whatnot, I'm going to put them all right there. And these are 1 quarters. This is ridiculous. Okay, so that works. Yeah, fight snakes with snakes. And Igerto's going to move down here to get himself... Nope, not give them the 3/4 cover. Oh, man, okay. He's going to get 3/4 cover there and protect himself while he's concentrating on the giant constrictor, or these regular constrictor snakes. This is silly. Okay. End of Igerto's turn, our constrictor snakes are going to go. And because of how big they are, they're going to just be able to basically attack up the walls, really no problem. So, let's see what happens here. What do they have for attacks? They just have the constrict and then the bite attack. Okay. So we're going to have this one here constrict against Yucca. And Yucca is going to be the first target. And we're going in for the constrict attack. And we have a base 4 to hit with a total of 8, which misses, unfortunately. So, no damage there. Next up, we're going to have this constrictor snake do the same to the next Yuan-ti right here. And is there a way? Yeah, just a sledge token. Okay, another constrict attack. They're all going in for constrict attacks. Oh, and that's constricted. Okay. So that's 4 points of damage, and Zalku should be restrained. Yes, restrained. Okay. So I need to bring out that condition real quick. Perfect. And let me put that right here. Come on. All right. So Zalku is restrained. Does not have the active effect with the name restrained. All right. Whatever. Let me try conditions here. Do I have it up here? There we go. Okay, so Zolku is restrained. If that triggers, perfect. Otherwise, attacks should now have advantage, right? Restrained creature, speed becomes 0, can't benefit from speed attacks. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dex saving throws as well. So, Zolku is now wrapped up in a Constrictor Snake attack. And we're going to have the same done with this Constrictor Snake. He's going to attack Nuzza here, and go in for a Constrictor attack. Hello, Herr Doctor! Welcome along! You're not too terribly late. We're more or less at the top of round 3, and we are almost an hour in, so still going strong here with the Lizardfolk summoning up a whole bunch of just creatures here. So, yes, it does bite. I see what you did there. So many conditions. Okay. So this Constrictor Snake is going to reach up and go in for a Constrict as well against Nuzza. And we will have the Constrict attack. Oh, that is a crit! 24 to hit. For a total of 13 points of damage, and Nuzza is also restrained. There we go. Alright, Nuzza's restrained, and now the attacks have advantage against her as well. And we'll say this one is going to do the same to this one. So now we're going over here to that target. And we have another quick Constrictor attack. Which is a 4, which looks like it misses, so we'll move on to the next Constrictor. Missing with an 8 and not dealing the 10 points of damage. Another Constrictor attack. We have a, almost a 1. Total 17. Now Olia is also constricted and restrained. And then we have these final 3 snakes here. So this snake is going to slither up and attack Sarin. Alright, let's see here. Sarin is the next to be tried to be constricted. And we'll see what happens. 13, total of 17 to hit, 7 points of damage, and Sarin is now also restrained. This is a good turnaround for the Lizardfolk. Okay, so, our Constrictor Snakes. They're going to kind of overlap a little bit and move up to do some attacks. They have the attacks on Sarin and going to go do some bite attacks. So, these two are going to move up and do some bite attacks at advantage. 18 to hit, total of 22, and 6 points, total 8 points of damage to Sarin. And then the final snake also comes in for one more bite attack. Yeah, indeed. Yes, it is definitely a jungle feature, having the Yuan-ti versus Lizardfolk and a Spirit Bone Naga. Alright, so that second attack of the Constrictor Snake was also a hit. 19 total with 8 points of damage against Sarin. The tides have definitely turned in favor of the Lizardfolk. Up next is Yucca, who is now free to attack and is going to try and even the odds here a bit and goes in to try and finish off Keese. And let's see, what will he end up doing? Alright, so Keese is being attacked, going in for 2 scimitar attacks. Not looking so hot, but we'll see what happens. Yes, technically they could double constrict, but it's still going to give the same amount of disadvantage. So, no real point to do it. Might as well just get the bite damage, which does more damage, I believe, and have the advantage on the attack. Alright. Yucca's going in to try and finish off Keese. 2 scimitar attacks. First swing is a 15 base, 20 total, with 5 points of damage and almost takes out Keese. Second scimitar swing. We have a base 9 of 14 to hit, which misses, and Keese is still holding out pretty strong. Okay, up next would have been Batoris, but Batoris is finished off. Now we have Kioris. And unfortunately, Okiris, the Lizardfolk Queen, doesn't have any real way to do anything right now. So, sadly, she's going to continue holding out and go on the dodge action. And let's see here. What happened? Oh, I'm on the wrong. Alright, let me clear out that real quick. There we go. She's on dodge and has 3/4 coverage. In a very good spot right now. Okay. Next up we have Sarin, who is restrained. And he's going to attempt to attack the restrainer, dropping the longbow and wriggling out the scimitar, and is going to attack the first constrictor that has him restrained. This is a disadvantage attack, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so first attack is going to be the scimitar attack at disadvantage because of being restrained. And we have a 12 base, total of 19 to hit, and that wounds the giant, well, not really giant, the constrictor snake here. Second attack is going to be, the bite attack. What's going to happen with a bite attack? That's a lot of poison damage. Does our... Okay, so we definitely need to go in for a bite attack. Alright. So we're going to do another scimitar attack and a bite attack. So let's go for the bite attack to try and finish this one off. At disadvantage because it's still being constricted. And we have a base 10, 9, and that's a hit with a total of 16. Killing and defeating the constrictor snake that had Sarin restrained. So we'll go ahead and remove the restrained condition off of Sarin here, if I can get to it. There we go. No longer restrained, and we'll go in for another constrictor snake, knowing what they can do and what the point is of having these snakes here. So Sarin goes in for one more scimitar attack at regular, and ends up dealing a base 17, 24 to hit, and that's a total of 11 points of damage, wounding the constrictor snake. Yes, it looks like it is coming down to an action economy here, Doctor. It was a little in favor of the Yuan-ti at first, but once these, summoned creatures came into play, things turned drastically in favor for the Lizardfolk. Okay, that is Sarin's turn. 3 multi-attacks. We now have Saurox, and Saurox, oops, accidentally killed him. He's still holding out fine, so he's going to come in for a couple attacks against his target. And we will end up attacking Yucca. And that will be, let's see here, a heavy club attack and a spiked shield attack, probably. So the first attack misses with a total of 8. And going in for, let's try with a bite attack because he's getting kind of angry. They all do basically the same amount of damage, but does no damage as well as the bite and the heavy club attack miss both times. A little, the madman says, these lads are not like the normal ladies, and they have snake's arms. Okay, moving on. Saurox's attacks unfortunately missed. We have Bugyox. Bugyox was hiding back here, and unfortunately there is a lot going on, so can't really move anywhere. With how the lore works for Lizardfolk, he's not going to turn his back to his home, and since they came in from the west side or the east side here, they can't do any kind of flanking either. So Bugyox is going to go on a dodge action, sadly. Nothing else he can do at the moment. Okay, Keese. Keese is here, and Keese, oops, not dead, is going to disengage because it's time for him to flee. He's not looking so hot, and we'll disengage and move off. And we'll jump down to here to hide as he keeps his back to his homeland and goes into 3/4 coverage. Oops. And I always forget to clear out the target. Okay, 3/4 coverage. Good to go. Next up is Olia. And Olia, now seeing more snakes and being constricted herself, will target the snake that is constricting her and goes in for 2 scimitar attacks at disadvantage. So, well, that's a 1. That's going to miss regardless. So the second strike will also be at disadvantage. Base 3 to hit, misses, no damage there. Moving on, we have Nuzza, who is also being constricted. She will attack her constrictor, and that will be this one here. Going in for, clear out the target real quick. There we go. And go in for 2 scimitar attacks at disadvantage. And we have a base 3 that fails. Second scimitar attack. A base 4 also fails. No damage there from the purebloods. Could they have done any spells? Animal friendship. Oh, animal friendship. I don't know if that works too well. Oh well. So then, could have done poison spray as well. That's actually a pretty good use of it. Oh well, next time if they're still hanging around, we'll do some poison sprays instead. And up last for round 3 is Trausk. Trausk is hiding here and will take the advantage and move up into the space here, getting rid of 3/4 on himself. And will then go in for the attack against Zalku. Okay. With Zalku targeted, we will do a heavy club attack and then a spiked shield attack. Oh, that's a fail. Big old 5 misses. And then we have a base 6 also missing for that shield hit. And no damage there from Trausk. We end the round 3 here and go to the top of round 4. Let's see if we can finish this off. Hopefully the Lizardfolk will find some more Yuan-ti defeated, but they are holding out pretty strong. Zalku is, let's see, what is Zalku doing? Yeah, play sad trumpet, indeed. All right, Zalku is still holding out pretty strong and is going to start working on Trausk, who has moved up into position. Actually, no, they would go after the, the Constrictor Snake that's constricting them. Okay, so switching targets to the Constrictor Snake, we will have 2 disadvantage scimitar attacks. First strike is a base 4, which misses. Second attack is a base 4 as well and also misses. That's 2 failed attacks, unfortunately, there. Moving on, we do have now Paja, who is sitting down here base and is going to attempt a sleep spell, maybe? Or are we going to continue? Nah. Let's see here. Spells. Spellcasting. Yes, what do we have for spells? Not seeing anything going on that's too terribly good. Oh, yeah, I know. I'd like to do the giants and the dragons. I still have to figure out something for that. That'll probably be the next one, Hair Doctor. Okay. Paja will just end up taking a really just bad shot at Zalku with a Frost Ray. And let's see here. That's going to be 3/4 coverage easily. So we'll switch to that, and we'll give him 3/4 coverage, and then we'll also do a Frost Ray attack. And let's see, how does that work out? Unfortunately, that is a miss as the attack goes wide. All right, moving on. Igerto is going to continue holding out there and goes on the dodge action. So we will switch to the targeting here. Igerto is going to get 3/4 and hang out there. Oh, yes, and go and dodge while he's concentrating on the Constrictor Snakes. And that will be his turn. Yucca's next. Yucca is not constricted, but is basically, well, we could move past them. So, Yucca is going to start retreating because he is now, he's now bloodied. So the intelligence and the wisdom is high enough to know to disengage. So he's going to use his action to disengage and is going to start moving. And we'll do, that will be 20 feet to there, 25, and then 30. So we're going to have him move over to here. And it's going to take a chance. I actually can't do anything. Actually, you know, we'll have him hop over to here. He'll jump down off to the side and hide behind the wall. So he's down below, kind of wrapped around the corpse of the giant snake a bit here, the Constrictor Snake. Okay, so that is Yucca's turn. They are fleeing. And we now have Okiris, who's going to basically continue to do the same thing since there's really no room. Well, let's see. Okiris could now move up and start attacking Sauron if need be. It's a gambit, or it's a big gamble here. But it's for her people. And she's here to represent her people. So she will do that. She's going to move up. If I can get her to move up and stop targeting her. Okay. So, there we go. Dashes right on up. Does not provoke any attacks of opportunity because she hasn't left any threat range and targets Sauron, the big nasty here. Okay, so let's see what our queen can do against the massive Sauron abomination. Goes in for a trident attack. 14 base, total of 19 to hit. That is 6 points of damage, and because she hit with a trident, she can also skewer for an additional 3d6. Ooh, that's a lot of extra damage there. And we have a total of 11 more points of damage against Sauron from being skewered with the trident. Sauron is now bloodied. But considering this is an abomination and the kind of kings of the Yuan-ti, he's going to hold out the longest, more than likely. A hobgoblin army versus a town guard. That could be pretty fun. Or kobolds versus town guards, but the guards are gnomes, so kobolds will be on the offensive. Yeah, I could definitely do something like that as well. I'm always up for any recommendations for other battles people want to see. Alright, so our queen, Lizard Queen here, is able to do some work, rushes up and makes a heavy trident blow, skewering Sauron, the abomination, up on top of his pedestal here. And what do you know? Next up is Sauron, and Sauron feels the trident stab and looks over at Okiris and just hisses violently at her. and goes in for a couple attacks as well. This may not be good for the Lizard Queen. She may have been a little too rash to just jump right up there and attack. So we get 3 attacks. One which is going to be the first of a bite attack against Ocuris. And that bite attack is a critical hit. Oh no. Wounding Ocuris for 35 points of damage. And lots of poison damage. That skewer may have been the wrong thing for Ocuris to do. And goes in for 2 scimitar attacks against the Queen. Misses with a 15 on the first scimitar attack and goes in for the second scimitar attack. And also misses once again. What are the odds, folks, that the bite was the only connector, but enough to do some work against her? Although I do have 3/4 coverage on her. So let's remove that and double check some things here. So that was a miss with an 11. And the 15 should have hit. So we have to deal 14 points of damage to her, unfortunately. Ocuris, our Lizardfolk Queen, or our Lizard Queen, has been hit to critical damage, but survived the 3 rounds of attack. Who knows what will happen at the rest of these rounds here. Next up is Sorox. Sorox is going to also move up and will, since there's actually room to do so, is going to go up and help the Queen and target Sauron, because this is the objective here. Let's see here. Drake, I'm not sure what fights you've already done, but an invasion mission into a kobold or goblin lair by supposedly overpowered creatures, maybe veterans or others, CR 3 to 5 NPC stats from Volos. I've done something similar. My first one was the orcs versus kobolds. That one didn't do so well because it was a balanced CR combat. Yes, the Volos definitely does. I can look into them. If you have some suggestions, let me know. Oh, yes. Yeah, the Lizard folks are definitely charging. Okay, Sorox is going to help out and try to defeat Sauron, since there is now an advantage and an opening here. And let's see here. Targeting that. Well, actually, let's do this. We'll clear out the targets, refresh the targets. All right. Sorox is going in for the attack. A heavy club against Sauron, and that's a base 7 to hit, which misses. And then a bite attack. And also misses with a 7 as well, unfortunately. Sadly, the attacks from Sorox miss. Okay, up next is Bugyax. And Bugyax is hiding down here, will move up to here to help out Trausk and attack Zalku. Actually, he probably could move all the way up to here as well. Yeah, he'll do that and start targeting Sauron and do the same as well. Because that's the thing. They want to get this abomination down as fast as possible. Base 16 to hit, total for 20. We have a total of 5 points of damage. That does connect. We'll do a spike shield attack next. Base 12 with total of 16 to hit, but a measly 3 points of damage, unfortunately. And the abomination is bloodied, but still holding out. Yeah, well, the very first one was orcs versus kobolds. But we could do something like, you know, bandits versus kobolds or something. That'd be an interesting one too to see. And whatever you guys want, man. Throw them on the Discord or whatnot, and we can go from there. Okay, Bugyax went. We now have Keese. Where is Keese hiding? Keese is all the way down here. Oh yes, he is unfortunately fleeing. So let's see here. He can't do anything much else, so unfortunately he's going to move off the board, and that will be his turn. He has left battle. Okay, Keese is now out. Olia's next, and Olia is restrained, and she's going to continue to attack her restraining Constrictor Snake, and I forgot to do the Constrictor Snake attacks again. So before we go any further, because Igiarto's turn was well at the top, snakes. So snakes are attacking. We're going to do, let's see here. This one's going to move in and try to constrain Zalku, who is already restrained, so there's no point in re-restraining. So we're going to do, let's see here, and a bite at advantage against Zalku. Total of 15 to hit, which missed. Nope, that should be a hit. I don't know why Zalku still has 3/4 coverage, so let's get rid of that. They have an AC of 12, so that definitely does hit. So 8 more points of damage to Zalku. Okay, wounded. This Constrictor Snake goes in for an advantage bite attack against Zalku. And will miss with a 10. Then we have this one here attacking the one she has restrained. And alright, so bite attack at advantage. And we have a total of 18 to hit, which deals 3 points of damage to Nuzza. And then we have the Constrictor Snakes. They're going to... Alright, well, let's see here. First of all, this one is restraining, so this one's going to attack Ulia. Alright, so we got here, and we go in for a bite at advantage. And that will be base 15, 19 to hit for the total of 3 more points of damage. This one also goes in for the bite attack. And will hit with a 17. And, ooh, max damage for 8 points of damage on Ulia. Man, they have a lot of hit points. Okay, switching targets to Sauron now. We go in for the Restrained. And sadly, they probably would have had Restrained on Sauron beforehand. That was my bad. Okay, Sauron's targeted. We're going to have this Constrictor Snake go in for the Constrict. And see if he can restrain Sauron or not. And that's a total of 15. Does restrain Sauron. And deals 7 points of damage. Sauron is now once again restrained by the Constrictor Snakes. And then we have one more Constrictor Snake to go. Bite at advantage. We have a total of 9 to 13. Misses and could have done 7 points of damage. Okay, moving on. Back to Olia here. Olia will target her snake. I don't believe Olia went. Did Olia take? No. Okay, it was a whole bunch of... Alright, cool. I forgot about the Constrictor Snakes once again, because they're not in the stupid turn order here. Okay. So, targeting the Constrictor Snake, we have Nuzia going with 2 scimitar attacks at disadvantage, unfortunately. And, oh, that was a 20 on one roll. That's a miss. Second scimitar attack. Yes, go ahead, that's fine. Okay. And that does connect for 6 points of damage. Although I believe I only rolled 1. So we'll roll again and see what happens. Okay, so that was a miss. We will revert that damage. There we go. Okay, moving on to the other pureblood. I forgot to do the poison spray once again. Okay, so instead of doing the scimitar attack, we will do a poison spray. Oh, yeah, of course. Clear out that. Go to here, go to poison spray. You must target a token before attacking. How many? Is this a one-shot deal? Let's see here. Spellbook, poison spray. Oh, okay. So they have to make this. All right, cool. So I will target this one since he is constraining, and she will do a poison spray. Get out of here with that nonsense. Poison spray attack. Consume spell slot if need be. And the Constrictor Snake fails the save, dealing 4 points of damage. Not a whole lot, but it's still something. It's better than a miss. Okay, so that is our our pureblood. Up last is Trausk. And Trausk here is going to attack their target and go in for a couple attacks. Let's make these quick. Heavy club attack, followed by a spiked shield. The first hits, dealing 4 points of damage, and the other attack hits, also dealing 3 more points of damage. Still, the Yuan-ti is up, but bloodied and surrounded, as well as restrained. I also forgot to do the restrained. So let's revert the first one. And now we will do a spike shield at advantage. Okay, so that's a critical hit. So the 7 damage is a miss. Which one was that? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, cool. So we do have a critical hit with the spike shield. I don't know why it didn't do advantage, but there we go. Okay. End of round 4. We go to the top of round 5. Man, there's a lot going on here. Zulku. Where is Zulku hiding? Zulku is here and will... let's see here. I guess disengage so he doesn't get hit by attacks of opportunity and continues to move on and off the field. Deserved. Very deserved. Okay. So that is Zulku's turn. He is running off the field. And we have Paja now. Paja is going to, I guess, attack Zulku, who has 3/4 coverage, unfortunately, and we'll just do another ray of frost, because there's just too much craziness going on. And it looks like he does hit for 9 points of damage. Ooh, that's a good ray of frost. Almost defeated him. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Ejirto is going to continue doing Ejirto stuff. And now, that since Ejirto is holding out for concentration on the constrictor snakes are going to go, because I'm getting it in order this time. Alright, so let's get rid of this one, since it's dead. Get rid of these two. Get rid of these two as well, just to clear out the field a little bit. Alright, constrictor snakes, go! Alright, first off, Zalku, who is restrained. We have a couple bite attacks. And first bite at advantage. We have a total of 16 to hit, which, oh, no, that does hit because, once again, I forgot to remove 3/4 coverage. So that's 3 points of damage. And still alive. The other constrictor snake comes in for the attack at advantage. And we end up with a 16 to hit, 4 more points of damage, and Zalku is finally defeated. The constrictor snake is going to start moving to find a new target. So we'll say he ends up climbing down to there. That's their turn. Okay. Next constrictor snakes. This one is the one wrapped around Olia. They're going to attack. No, Ejirto is the one that summoned the constrictor snakes and is just kind of holding out in the back so he doesn't lose concentration on the constrictor snakes because of conjure animals. I believe that's how it works, right? Is that concentration? Yeah, it is concentration. So to keep the action economy up really heavily on their side, he's holding out and just staying back to concentrate on the spell. Okay. Targeting Olia here, the first constrictor snake is going at advantage because restrained. That's an 18, 22 to hit, 6 points of damage, and then the other constrictor snake will also attack. Let's see here. Another bite attack at advantage. We have a total of 20 to hit and 3 more points of damage. Which is a joke. Let's see here. I'm going to play in a campaign as a kobold wizard, and the only other person decided to play a Lizardfolk ranger. If we all play as lizard reptiles. Well, I have a campaign that it's all like non-humanoids. It's a Kenku, an Aarakocra, and a turtle. So, yeah, a turtle as the 3 main players in one campaign. Technically no humans, which is really funny. Okay, this one is restraining Sauron. He's going to take a bite attack against Sauron. Let me clear out the targeting here. There we go. And a bite at advantage. Oh, that's a 19 base, 23 to hit, and 3 points of damage against Sauron. This one is going to also attack Sauron. Same deal, restrained. And hits with a 17, 4 points of damage. Oh, holding out for a hero joke. Yeah, no worries. It's cool. All right, and then lastly we have, let's see here, one more attack. I don't think I did this one. So we'll quickly do this attack and finish off the snakes. All right, and we have a miss there, unfortunately. So, moving on, we have Okiris, who is the queen and is going to continue the fight. With considering that the Sauron is now restrained by a constrictor snake, she's going to take advantage of that heavily and go in for the attack. See if she can finish off Sauron or not. Okay. This could be the end of the match here, folks. If Sauron's down, this is technically their leader. The others may flee once he's down. Okay. Okirius, our lizard queen, goes in for the trident attack at advantage. And hits with an 18 base, 23 total, 4 points of damage, and the skewer. So 3 more points, 3 more d6s in damage, and we end up with an additional, ooh, that's a heavy blow, 13 points of damage. Minus 13. That's a big blow to Sauron. She might have been a little hasty here and sticking around, but it's Sauron's turn, and he is still restrained. Okirius is going to hold out hopes that the constrictor snake is going to do its work. All right, so let's see here. Sauron's turn. Sauron's going to attack the queen, and yeah, we'll attack the queen since she's been doing heavy work here, and go in for the first bite attack at disadvantage because he is restrained. And, ooh, double 16s. That's a 23 to hit, and that's a total of 16 points of damage. The queen is still alive, folks. That is amazing. And goes in for 2 scimitar attacks at disadvantage to try and finish off the queen. We have a 6 base, misses with a 13, and goes in for 1 more attack. Double 13s, that's a hit on Ocarius, and the queen has been defeated. Oh, it does. You're right. Temporary hit points. Oh, okay. So, you're right. We gotta give double hit. We gotta give some temporary hit points here. We have to revert some stuff. All right. So, skewer and equal to the extra damage dealt. So she would still have 10, 23, technically 23 hit points back. Okay. So let's revert this damage real quick. Revert that, and okay, so those 2 hit, so she should have, well, I'm gonna give her 10 more hit points back for the first one, because she should have had temporary hit points, and then on top of that she should have 13 temporary hit points here. Okay, so let's go back and deal the bite damage. So we'll apply the bite damage, 26 there, and then apply the, it looks like it still kills her. I think, unfortunately, let me go back just a little bit more. All right. I think it's doing too much damage here, so. So she should have had 31 hit points and 13 temporary damage here. So then, the bite deals, so I want to make sure she's still alive and survives this. The bite was 16 points of damage. So minus 16. Okay, there we go. And then the second scimitar attack dealt 14 points of damage. All right, so fixing that, the queen should technically still be alive with 14 hit points. I think we're good now. All right, so Sauron got the attacks in, but is still the queen is still alive. Looks good. All right, up next is Sorox. Sorox is going to attack Sauron as well, and going for those 2 attacks here. Heavy club at advantage. We need to target Sauron and get those attacks in. All right. Heavy club at advantage. We have base 18, 22 to hit, and that is 7 points of damage. And then we also have a spiked shield attack. And 13, 17 to hit, 5 more points of damage. Sauron is almost defeated. Get out of here with these dice. Up next is Bugyax, and he will do the same. Goes in, takes advantage for the heavy club attack. And misses, unfortunately, with that. Goes in for a spiked shield attack. Oh, I had the wrong person rolled. Anyways. And that looks like that is the end. Bugyax takes the W for defeating Sauron, the abomination. The rest of the other Lizardfolk, the purebloods at this point will just surrender, as it is now their turn, and the abomination leader that they have created has been defeated. That is the end of this attack, and the Lizardfolk will take the Yuan-ti as prisoners and probably do something Lizardfolk with them. That is the end of round 5. It took 5 mighty rounds and a couple corrections for the queen, because I forgot about their skewer ability. And the queen survives with 14 hit points. And the abomination Yuan-ti has been defeated. It looks like the Yuan-ti have been defeated due to action economy and constrictor snakes. Thank you all for joining me for this extended hour-and-a-half live stream of Yuan-ti versus Lizardfolk. This has been quite the exciting battle of a CR 15 draft battle. Had it not been for the Conjure Animals spell of our shamans, this might have been a completely different battle, folks. I was there. We believed. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is me, Andrew, as always, thanking everyone here who has stopped by to watch this live stream from beginning to end, or wherever you caught it, or watching it in the future. Thank you so much. You've all been awesome. Clawpaw, Hair Doctor, Drake Terry, who else do we have? Clorox. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure doing Monster vs. Monster battles for you here on the D&D CR Exposed channel. As always, this is me, Andrew, asking, are your encounters even rated? Thank you all, folks. See you next time. And until then, have a great game of D&D. This was a scaly hour. This indeed was. As always, I will see some of you probably next or this coming Friday for the CR Exposed live stream. And until then, we will, get ready for the next Monster vs. Monster battle. Thank you all for hanging out. This was a long one, and I appreciate it. See you later, folks. Have a good rest of your day.